JKIA 601001E, National Treasury. And number 7, National Information Platform for Food Security and Nutrition Project, credit number food-2017-393-022, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I beg to lay.
Thank you. The Chair Labour. Chair Labour Karemba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House. Today, Wednesday, 13th November 2024. Report of the Departmental Committee on Labor on its consideration of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission Bill, National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2024. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next, Chair Education. Meli.
Yes, Member for Luanda.
Maungu is your assistant.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, the Wednesday, 13th November 2024. Reports of the Departmental Committee on Education on its consideration of 1. The Universities Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 38 of 2023. 2. The Basic Education Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2023. 3. Universities Amendment Bill number 3, National Assembly Bill number 64 of 2023. 4. Universities Amendment number 5, Bill, National Assembly Bill number 79 of 2023. And 5. The Universities Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Dick. Next.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Majority Leader is the Minister for Roads coming this afternoon. Okay, before we get there, let's go to order number 8. Yes, Oundo.
Honorable Speaker, I don't know whose mistake it is. Neither I was in the table office a few minutes ago. The responses that the minister is coming to give, we have not had the opportunity to have copies in advance so that we can read, understand, and be in a good position to ask questions and even allow whatever you call, to also ask rejoinder questions. Is it possible we could facilitate through our office, we get responses so that we can look at them before the minister takes the podium? We would request, we are requesting, Speaker.
Okay, Clerk, I think, Honorable, we can deal with that on a need basis. There are certain questions which once the minister answers, the questioner can raise a supplementary relating to the adequacy of the answer. But if you need to get some written answer, the clerk will facilitate. You can see the clerk at the table. Order, honorable members, call out order number 8.
Order number 8, motion, consideration of the mediated version of the National Rating Bill, National Assembly Bill number 55 of 2022. Question to be put.
Order, honorable members on their feet, take your seats. Sirma, take your seat. Honorable Kaluma, take your seat. Honorable members, I now put the question at order number 8, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Article 113 of 32 of the Constitution and Standing Order 153, Order Ngong. Order. I repeat. I put the question at order number 8, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Article 1132 of the Constitution and Standing Order 153, this House adopts the report of the Mediation Committee on the National Rating Bill, National Assembly Bill number 55 of 2022, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 5th November 2024, and approves the mediated version of the National Rating Bill, National Assembly Bill number 55 of 2022. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. We'll go back to questions. Do we have any request for statements? Yes. Honorable Namwar, you indicated that you're dropping your request for a statement, right?
Most guided, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, Majority Leader, Honorable Namwar tells me that the statement he was requesting was adequately dealt with by the visit of His Excellency the President to his county. So he's dropped it. Thank you for saving our time and acknowledging that your issues have been addressed. Let's go to questions now. Can you bring in the minister? Namwar, yes?
Thank you, Speaker. I have a pending statement that has not been resolved to date, Your Excellency, Your Honorable Speaker.
See the clerks at the table or the table of office so that it can be put on the order paper tomorrow.
There was a ruling that you had been able to make before regarding KWS issue with the fishermen in Sibiloi. You had resolved that we have a committee, some kind of a multi-sector committee to look at the issue, and up to date, the issue was brought in June. Up to now, when you had made a ruling, nothing has been able to be processed, Honorable Speaker.
I advise you, Honorable Namwar, to see the clerk at the table so that they can bring to the attention of the Speaker the issue that you are raising. Okay, Majority Leader, can you bring in your minister? Honorable members, the CS for Roads and Transport is in the House to respond to your questions. Clerk, I have received communication from two members, Honorable Kili Daniel Carrido, to defer his question, and Honorable Paul Musimi Zengu to defer their questions, so when we reach them, you skip them. Honorable Chirchir, welcome to the House, and honorable members, as we always do, the questioner asks his or her question. I'll allow one joyrider to each question. Question 167 of 2023, Member for Baringo Central, Joshua Kandie. Joshua Kandie is not in the house. Pardon? You cannot stand in for him unless there's a written request to the Speaker. Question deferred. Question 168 of 2023, member for Mwingi, that one is deferred. Question 178, member for Kinango, the Honorable Gonzi Rai. Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to ask question number 178/2023.
Hold there. I had skipped one page. We have two questions by private notice. The first one by Wakili Mureu. We'll start with the questions by private notice. Wakili Mureu, that is question 013 of 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to seek for answer to question 13, so 2024. And I start with question number 1. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide the current status of any negotiations for a concession agreement between the government and the Adani Group regarding the management of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport? The second question, Mr. Speaker, state the details of any consultations and public participation engagements that have been undertaken by the Ministry of Roads and Transport regarding this matter in line with Article 10 of the Constitution. Number 3, clarify whether there is full compliance with provisions of Article 10(2) of the Constitution on the principles of governance, including but not limited to upholding good governance, integrity, transparency, and accountability in the discussions on the proposed transfer of management of JKIA. And the fourth question, confirm that in accordance with provisions of Article 35 of the Constitution, publishing and publicization of all information relating to the proposed agreement between the government and Adani was affected. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Happy to be in the House this afternoon to respond to the various questions and to be quick and specific to Wakili Mureu's Mheshimiwa's question on Adani and whether to provide the current status of any negotiations for concession agreement. Chair, I want to confirm that all engagements between the government of Kenya and Adani have been suspended by a court order issued on 9 September 2024 in HCJR E199/2024, Kenya Human Rights Commission and Law Society of Kenya, Airports, Kenya Airports Authority, and 4 others. The court issued a conservatory order prohibiting any persons from implementing or further implementing or acting on the privately initiated proposal for the development and operation of JKIA by Adani Holdings Limited, pending the hearing and determination of this application by the court. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, members, there is no concession agreement that has been executed between the government of Kenya and Adani. And as I answer the following questions, I'll be seeking to get the honorable members, Speaker, to appreciate the process of concessioning a PIP. And we'll just stop midway ahead of developing and signing the concession agreement. And so we are going through the court process and using that as public participation process to ensure that we do provide all the information and ensure that all Kenyans are fully appraised on this new investment platform that will bring in foreign investment and help us to grow some of our infrastructural that we need to develop. Honorable Speaker, on the members on the second question, which is to state the details of any consultation and public participation engagements that have been undertaken. At the time when we got the halt, we had a program of stakeholder engagement, and we had already had formal engagement with the Kenya Airports Authority senior management stakeholders on the 15th of August 2024 at JKIA head office boardroom, which was properly scheduled. We'd had engagements with the KAA JKIA section heads stakeholders engagement meeting, which was held on 19th August 2024, also at JKIA Courage Rooftop Conference Room. We had JKIA staff engagement meeting held on 20th August 2024 at JKIA Presidential Pavilion. We had held engagements with Kenya Aviation Workers Union, CAU stakeholders engagement meeting, which was held on 20th August 2024 at JKIA Conference Room. Kenya Civil Aviation Authority stakeholders engagement meeting, which we held on 26th August 2024 at KCAA headquarters. We'd also had engagements, Speaker, honorable members, with the Kenya Airways stakeholders engagement meeting held on 26th August 2024 at Kenya Airways headquarters Pride Center, Embakasi. We had engagement with JKIA concessionaires, retailers, and all business owners engagements in a meeting we held on 28th August 2024 at Eka Hotel. We had engagement with Kenya Associations of Air Operators in a meeting held on 29th August 2024 at 4 Point by Sheraton Airport, Nairobi. And finally, with engagements with JKIA airline, air operators, ground handlers, GOK agencies, cargo engagement meetings, which was held on 30th August 2024 at Amara Ole Sereni. Honorable Speaker, the public participation plan was to be developed. However, this process, like I said, has been put on hold following the conservatory orders issued by the Honorable Court in Judicial Review Case number HCJR/E199/2024, which has in turn suspended the implementation of the proposed project. And on the clarification on whether there is full compliance with the provision of Article 10(2) of the Constitution on the principles of governance, including but not limited to upholding good governance, integrity, transparency, accountability. In the discussions on the proposed transfer of management of JKIA, Honorable Speaker, there has been full compliance until we were stopped. The concessioning through a PIP is a process. It's not like the PPDA or the public procurement and disposal system. It's a whole process. And there has been, I want to confirm, compliance with Article 10(2) of the Constitution and strict adherence to the Public-Private Partnership Act and guidelines issued by the Public-Private Partnership Directorate and Committee. Good governance, Honorable Speaker, integrity, transparency, and accountability has been adhered to through the conduct of due diligence, which has revealed that, like we found out up to the time where we got the orders, that Adani has not been debarred by any country. There has not been engagement in acts of corruption that we so far found it on due diligence. Is not insolvent, is tax compliant in all jurisdictions in which it has local tax presence, is not a default on payment of social security and employment benefits, and its directors or officers have not been convicted of any criminal offense related to professional conduct within a period of 5 years preceding the submission of the proposal and have not otherwise been disqualified pursuant to administrative suspension or debarment proceeding. Speaker, honorable members, furthermore, the privately initiated proposal has been subjected to evaluation and analysis by numerous government agencies, including the PPP Directorate, the National Treasury, and the transaction advisor duly qualified. Therefore, the process of considering the proposal by Adani at the point where we had reached has been rigorous, and we strictly following the due process set by law. On the confirmation, Speaker, honorable members, that in accordance with the provision of Article 35 of the Constitution with respect to publishing and publication of all information relating to proposal and agreements between government and Adani, let me confirm, honorable members, Speaker, that all relevant information concerning the said project has been disclosed to almost all the stakeholders. And like I said, we continue to use the court process as a public participation process because the documents are out there. The documents were submitted to Senate when they requested us for those documents. Disclosure of information is also being undertaken within the ambit of the existing case that has been filed in court, like I've mentioned. Speaker, honorable members, that is the response on the provision of information under Article 35. On the notice, on the question to provide a comprehensive report on the statistics, sorry, I think I'm done on the Adani, Speaker, thank you.
Moreo.
Mr. Speaker, I am extremely surprised by the Cabinet Secretary assertion that Adani has no corruption case anywhere in the world, has been compliant with taxes in where they have local jurisdiction of paying taxes. Because, Mr. Speaker, and there are documents which I can be able to submit before the House, Adani has been barred from doing business in Australia. It has been barred from doing business in India, purely for the same reason we're talking about. Therefore, I think here, Mr. Speaker, the facts which have been asserted by the Cabinet Secretary are not correct, and I think they might need to get further and proper details. However, Mr. Speaker, this matter is before the court, and now maybe since we cannot be able to discuss in much in detail, but I think I just wanted to raise that issues which are not factual, which I would like the Cabinet Secretary to just confirm, and I'll submit these papers before the House. Nevertheless, I do not wish to have this matter discussed further because it is in court, and therefore, but for purposes of record, I'll be able to submit this record before the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair will have to look at those papers. Yes, yes, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Just to be able to guide the House, it's very important that when assertions are made by a member, they must actually prove it. And the only way to get correct information is to get the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to write to those countries' Ministry of Foreign Affairs and receive a confirmation that those allegations that you're making are indeed true. Because the precedent we are setting in the country is we are going to scare away public-private partnership. We are going to scare away investors from Kenya. Because if we do not have money as a country, the only other way to fund infrastructure programs in the country is through public-private partnerships. And so we cannot, as leaders, be the ones scaring away investors. So I think he should be given a timeline within which to confirm that information to the public through the official channels, not by his own rumor mongering and statements.
Pass on your documents to the clerk for the Speaker to look at. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First, I had wanted the Honorable Moreu to table, because he said he is tabling something. He should, as a matter of fact, table the documents but not show us WhatsApp messages. Because now what Honorable Speaker is referring are things I can see him just Googling from his phone. Honorable Speaker, you know, we cannot always treat this house as if we are...
Order, Majority Leader. Honorable Mureu, you said, as a matter of fact, that you have papers.
That he can table.
But
Yes,
I
he
can
should
see you
table.
walking to the clerk with your phone. So which papers do you have to table? Because even what is on your phone can be printed and be...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think electronic documents, we are at the age of information. And the only, Mr. Speaker, what I just need to do is to have it printed and give it to the clerk.
That is exactly
However, Mr.
what
Speaker,
I have said.
yes, I have it over here. They have the report, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, I think it's important also, as you talk about the benefits of PPP, transparency is most important. This issue...
Order, Honorable Mureo, you are now making a speech. I just told you, if you have documents, as you said you do have, if you have them electronically, go to the table office, print them, and table them for any member to look at. Yes, and it will not be at your cost at all. It's at the cost of Parliament. Yes. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, beg that we either redact from the Hansard, because, Honorable Speaker, what the Honorable Mureu had said that he has documents that he can table, because clearly he had no documents to table. Honorable Speaker, I was just telling Honorable Mureu here, no, it's different when you are discussing matters at Kirwara Market from the House. The House, you have to come and debate with facts, not the way we debate in our marketplaces. And Honorable Speaker, because what we tend to do many a times are to make political statements for the gallery. Because we know we are on national TV, we want to be quoted in the evening news that you have evidence, but you have not tabled any evidence, and therefore must be on the Hansard and in the records of this House that the Honorable Mureu has tabled no evidence of either Adani being debarred from doing business in Australia and all the other countries he named. But Honorable Speaker, back to my question to the Cabinet Secretary, and I had wished that's what Honorable Mureu would dwell on, because the questions in the minds of Kenyans is that Adani Group was said to have initiated a privately initiated PPP proposal. We would want to know, and Kenyans would want to know, are there other investors from any other part of the world that may have had other proposals that the Kenya Airports Authority was considering together with that of Adani? Because the questions Kenyans have been asking is whether there has been transparency, whether there has been openness in the manner in which the Kenya Airports Authority and the concerned ministry has dealt with this question of Adani. And I had hoped that the Honorable Mureu would take the Cabinet Secretary to task to explain to Kenyans what measures they took to inform Kenyans whether there have been other prior proposals from other countries, from other airline management companies, from any other part of the world.
Ask your question.
Honorable Speaker, therefore, I would want to see here whether the Cabinet Secretary can tell us, have there been other proposals that were being considered together with this one for Adani? Because what we have heard in the media is what probably you hear many people quote. But we would want to hear from you, are there other proposals that you have considered? And this Adani one that you tell us now is in court, how far had it gone in terms of your engagements with Adani? Had it moved to the point where you are now discussing a concession, or are you just considering the PIP proposal from Adani? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Oundo.
Honorable Speaker, let me direct my question to the Cabinet Secretary. We passed here the Framework Act, the Principal Act, and it has got very clear stages and steps to be taken before you implement a PP. Probably the Minister could be gracious enough to tell us whether the entire steps that were proposed and contemplated in the Act were ever followed to the letter, to a point they even go to the point of almost signing the agreement, and whether the law was followed as provided for in the law and the regulations. Thank you, Speaker.
Yes, Minister.
Speaker, thank you. Honorable Ichungwa's question is regarding whether we had another privately initiated proposal in respect to JKIA. Honorable Speaker, we do not have any other privately initiated proposal in respect to concessioning of JKIA. Honorable members, to run through a PIP, you will need to have done a feasibility study, and it is a serious submission. It is not a piece of letter. So when you submit a privately initiated proposal, it is a very well done piece of work, having looked at the whole scope of the proposal and what needs to be done. So with respect to that, honorable members, we do not have any other privately initiated proposal by any concessionaire in respect to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport concessioning, or even under PPP, we don't. With respect to Oundo's question, Mheshimiwa Oundo, the PPP, like I said, is not, the process is articulated from the time when you submit. It goes through the due process in line with the PPP Act, which includes PPP approval by the PPP committee, project development phase and feasibility study, the evaluation process of the feasibility study report, the PPP committee approval of the feasibility study, the procurement of a technical assistant, and PPP committee consideration and approval of the negotiated outcome. And at the time when we got the court, when it went to court, we were at the time drafting and negotiating a concession agreement, looking at some of the technical issues like the return on equity, the debt equity ratio, the value for money, and so on and so forth. So that is where we were. But like I said, we had also gone through the due process and we were about to finalize the public engagement. So, honorable members, that is when we got the orders, and like I did indicate, we are using this time to ensure that we communicate and we do provide information to Kenyans. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Basil.
Thank you, Speaker. My supplementary is actually tied to what Oundo asked. Can the CS tell us whether JKIA was operating at a loss for it to be considered for privatization?
CS.
Thank you, honorable members. With respect to JKIA, JKIA in its audited accounts makes a profit of 4 billion annually. 4 billion annually. As we are aware of the state of JKIA, the fact that we need a new airport, we have really overutilized in terms of the traffic and the population of persons we receive at JKIA, and the investment at JKIA is in the tune of 200 billion. So when you're talking about an investment, Speaker, honorable members, of 200 billion, and your bottom line is 4 billion, and the fiscal headroom for an asset which is 100% owned by government requires that kind of investment, the only route to go is the PPP route, where we bring in foreign investment through PPP. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mwenje. I want to move to the next question.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mine is a quick one. In light of this transaction with Adani, perhaps the Cabinet Secretary can just explain to us what happened with the deal that existed with Kenya Airways and JKIA, which we got the feeling that it was dying, but we've never gotten a comprehensive report on what happened with that specific transaction. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Minister.
Let me just very quickly, Speaker, honorable members, that remind the House that that bill was withdrawn by this House. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to the next question. Honorable Mureu, these papers have got no authentication. There is no indication where they're coming from. And for now, I'll disallow them. If you find a way to have them authenticated as to their source, their content, their veracity, and their accuracy, then we'll deal with it. Next question, Mark Mwenje. Yes, Honorable Kaluma.
Point of order, Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Muriu has made a very serious claim against an investor seeking opportunity to invest in the country in our constrained economy. And Honorable Speaker, is not a light matter. Under Standing Order number 91, if you cannot duly substantiate the claims you make, then that claim, number one, must be expunged from the records. But number two, Honorable Speaker, the maker of that unsubstantiated statement must withdraw and apologize. Honorable Speaker, I'm saying this because I have information that while Honorable Muriu Mungai is saying this Adani company cannot engage in any investment in this country, as we speak, this company is engaged in very big infrastructural projects, including in New South Wales, Australia. Mega projects, mega and bigger than this one here. Honorable Speaker, we cannot have a situation where we as leaders of a country operating in this difficult economic environment come, throwing rumors there about entities which should be investing in our country. And that is the platform of public-private partnerships. The idea that we don't have our own money to do everything in terms of development you want to do. And so we invite people who can invest and benefit the public as we go along. Honorable Speaker, even if it were to be said that this company had a problem in some country, as leaders, it can only alert us to secure our deal and to secure our national interest better, not to exclude. So this rumor mongering, Honorable Speaker, I wanted to request you that having been confirmed, and it is very unfortunate, Honorable Speaker, that Honorable Muriu, who is a prominent lawyer, senior lawyer, can come before this August House with newspaper cuttings whose motive you never know. From Wamunyoro, I don't know
what Wamunyoro is.
Yeah. So Honorable Speaker, could it be expunged from record because it has a company
I have already
which we
directed
would rather
that
deal with.
the documents as they are, and from advice from the table clerk, they are inadmissible. We go to the next question, and Murray, I've told you what to do if you want to be believed. Mark Mwenje.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Before I ask my question, Honorable Speaker.
I'll move to the next question. On the same issue? Okay. Honorable TJ Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, you know...
Can you mute Mwenje? Yes.
You know the member for Homa Bay is my law partner, and I always don't disagree with him on very serious issues. But as a ranking member, as I am, and I heard that from the Deputy Speaker, is it in order that members of this House should talk down other members on issues which are substantial, which are being spoken both outside and inside, to refer that members are rumor mongering? Whether it is a newspaper, no newspapers are allowed, if in Speaker's wisdom, Speaker may allow certain information, including newspaper reports. That is what I know about. I'm just wondering, for the decency of debate in this House, and for the respect that members have on each other. A gentleman such as a member for Wakili, as he is, should a whole presiding officers face him and tell him that he is rumor mongering when actually he is stating issues which are both passionate in this house and outside. That is the context of my
Thank you, TJ. I've already given direction on the matter, and Wakili Mureo, being a senior lawyer, knows what to do with his documents. Mark Mwenje.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to ask the 14th question by private notice of this year. Could the Cabinet Secretary, 1, provide a comprehensive report on the amount disbursed to KERA for the financial year 2023-2024 as of September 2024 for Nairobi County, and the measures being taken to address the inordinate delay? Second question, give reasons for the delay in full disbursements of the road maintenance levy funding during the financial year 2023-2024 for Nairobi City County to the Kenya Rural Roads Authority, KERA. Honorable Speaker, as the CS rises to ask, we had requested last time to expand this question, not just to apply to Nairobi City County, but to the entire country as well, with your indulgence. Thank
Minister.
Honorable Speaker, allow me not to repeat the question, but to respond that Kenya Rural Roads Authority, KERA, received a total of 42,101,040 Kenya shillings per constituency, countrywide, under the 22% RMLF. That is the Road Maintenance Levy Fund, financing for the financial year 2023-24, including constituencies in Nairobi County, which of course total to 17. And when you compute what was received and dispersed to Nairobi, it totals to 715,717,680 Kenya shillings for that 22% RMLF. The amount, Speaker, honorable members, however, falls short of the initial budgeted amount of 44,522,070 shillings per constituency, as earlier guided by Kenya Roads Board, ceiling for the financial year 23-24. The variance arose due to actual RMLF collection falling short of the projected amounts by a margin of 5.4% per constituency, which totaled to 2,421,030 Kenya shillings. And of course, the shortfall, honorable members, Speaker, is due to the amount of petroleum products that was consumed in the country. Speaker, honorable members, I have shown a table that details the disbursement received in the reporting year 23-24 and how we tranche that money and the shortfall that I've talked about. Similarly, under the 10% RMLF funding, the authority received 17,107,109 Kenya shillings per constituency, against a budgeted amount of 20,237,304, which was based on KRB ceiling provided for the year. The total amount received for the financial year under the 10% RMLF was therefore 290,820,853 against the expected funding of 344,034,168, representing a variance of 15.5%, honorable members. With respect to the table that basically articulates that 10% RMLF funding, I've shown that in that table where we basically showing the 10% RMLF that was released at 17,107,109 for each constituency as shown in the table. With respect to the second question, the Kenya Roads Board collects the road maintenance levy on a continuous basis and disperses to the recipient agencies through the ministry. The disbursement for the various agencies were done in a timely manner, and I wish to clarify that KERA, or Kenya Rural Roads Agency, dispersed funds on to the regional offices based on what was received or what is received. The funds for Nairobi City, County, honorable members, and all other constituencies were therefore remitted and will continue to be remitted promptly. Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, honorable members.
Mark Mwenje.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I thank the Cabinet Secretary for his response. Honorable Speaker, my follow-up is basically that these amounts for KERA have consistently been reducing. The fact that our committees went to the ground and budgeted even for these savings that were going to occur. Honorable Speaker, then how can the Cabinet Secretary guarantee that this will not repeat itself in the subsequent financial years, especially considering that the reduction that occurred and the notice that came out gravely affected projects that were going, contracts who had already committed to certain projects, and that means they are incomplete works that will remain as a result of the reduction of funds caused by the revised ceilings. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Lodge. Member from Adani. Give Anton Lodge the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me make this follow-up question to the CS. What is the legal mechanism by which a ceiling which has already been committed to constituencies, work plans already done, and already some activities and advertisements being undertaken? How can the roads levy fund, based on alleged reduced earnings, then be able to ask constituencies that they will not be able to undertake these processes? I have a case in my constituency where, based on the savings that are now unremitted, we did a road up to 80% of it and is now at a standstill. Is there a legal mechanism by which you can be able to fall back and say that these were your ceilings, but we have now not collected enough? I think the minister should be able to come clean to avoid putting constituencies in roads that are being done to a certain extent and now will be left undone as white elephants. Thank you.
Dr. Mutunga. Minister will take.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my supplementary question is around the same money committed to pay for contracts that had already been issued. Honorable Speaker, I have a case in my constituency where a road was estimated to be done at around 4 million, and only 3 million was available. Then I go back to the apportionment of the money and the decisions made when the reductions were done. Did the ministry not take into account that committed money is already incurring a debt and therefore make provisions for this even as the reductions were to go on? Was that taken into account, Honorable Speaker?
Thank you. Owundo.
Speaker, I think this issue of the 22% and 10% is now becoming a thorn in the flesh. Honorable Speaker, once the works are complete, assuming the entire disbursement was made, once the works are complete, there is what we call savings. Honorable Speaker, and I want to ask the CS to clarify, up to now, the so-called savings have not been remitted to the regional offices to enable us undertake and enable the CRC, that's the Constitutional Roads Committee, to undertake the other remaining works on the various roads. When is the savings going to be remitted to the regional offices to enable them complete the ongoing roads?
Yes, Nyenze. Let's take one more from Edith, then you answer. We got the next question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mine is a question, a supplementary question on Kera roads again. There was an advertisement which was done on the 22 and also 10% roads, I think about 2 weeks ago. Then after that, it was withdrawn. They say they have suspended that advertisement. And the advertisement which had gone out actually did not have the names of the constituencies. They did not even give us, as the members of parliament, the amount allocated. And in some instances, you are having a road which is touching on 2 constituencies. So you can't tell this belongs to my constituency or to the neighboring constituency. So my question is, why was this ANFAT suspended? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The supplementary question with respect to basically the works that had been advertised and on account of projected revenues, which was not met because of the shortfall on the 22% RMLF collection, which comes through the fuel collection. Honorable members, I was with the Committee on Roads and Transport last week, and this question was alive. And what we have done is to compute the savings on the actual contracts achieved vis-a-vis the budget that was allocated to every road. And my team, honorable members, which is here with me, are computing the savings to be able to address the shortfall and therefore mitigate the challenge that the members face over projects that had been advertised, committed, and works done. And as of yesterday, I think Kera did pass through the board the amounts due to the shortfall and will be dispersed shortly. I think that will address the question of the shortfall with respect to the challenge that arises when budgeting is not properly done. We'll need to really look at estimates on what we think we should be able to collect on RMLF due to the volume of petroleum that the country will consume and ensure that we do not run into this challenge. But as regarding the shortfall or whether the RMLF is reducing, I think in the subsequent questions we'll see the RMLF growing from 2019-2020 and progressively all the way to almost 100% growth by the year 2022-23. So the challenge of overestimating the revenues, going out to tender for roads on estimates that may not be achieved. We'll work very closely to ensure with EPRA and the people who give us the estimates for the petroleum products that will be consumed so that we do not get into that situation. But like I've said, as of yesterday, the board of Kera met and approved the shortfall based on the savings and will be able to mitigate that challenge. With respect to Edith Nyense's concern of the suspended advertisements which had gone out, I think we are going to re-advertise by next week. That's what I'm advised. And therefore, we'll be able to address that challenge. Let me, in the course of this sitting, I'll get more details. And if that is not satisfactory, I'll be able to address that. Thank you.
You, Kandia.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to ask question number 167 of 2023. Could the Cabinet Secretary explain the criteria used by Kenya Road Sport to determine the amount of funds to allocate to each constituency? 2, could the Cabinet Secretary provide a detailed analysis of monies that Kenya Road Sport has dispersed to all the 290 constituencies from the year 2019 to 2023? 3, Could the Cabinet Secretary provide a comprehensive list of roads each of the 47 counties that Kenya Roads Board has allocated monies to in the recent past? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
CS.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the question, Honorable Joshua Kandia. Honorable members, Section 6 of the Kenya Roads Board Act number 7 of 1999 lays out how the Roads Maintenance Levy Fund, RMLF, is allocated to the road agencies, more specifically Section 6, 2D1 and 2 of the KRB Act, that's the Kenya Roads Board Act, stipulates the following allocation to constituencies. 22%, honorable members, which shall be deposited into a special bank account to be called Constituency Road Fund Account, to be maintained by every constituency of the allocated funds, and is allocated equally to all constituencies in the country and to be administered by the Rural Roads Authority. Another 10% of the allocated funds is set and allocated for the maintenance of development of link roads between constituencies, like was mentioned by Honorable Edith Nyensa, and to serve as government counterpart funds in funding works on rural roads to be administered by, again, Kenya Rural Roads Authority, and that the said percentage or percentum shall be equally distributed to all the constituencies, like the 22%, where Kenya Rural Roads Authority has the mandate. Honorable members, each constituency received RMLF funds in the last 4 financial years as shown in that table. I hope, honorable members, with respect to 22%, for the year 2019-2020, it was every constituency received 21,564,277. The following year, 2020-21, each constituency received the 22% portion at 22,642,491. And in the year 21-22, each constituency received 25,319,331. And in 2022-23, each constituency under the 22% received 42,598,809. And similarly, I have tabulated the receipt amount under the 10% critical link roads for the 4 financial years. And the totals, like I said, have moved progressively in 2019-2020 from 31,366,221 to 61 million in 2022-23 to 61,961,904, which is some good progression. Honorable members, Section 19.4 of KRB Act mandates the board to consolidate the annual roads works program submitted to it by roads agencies into annual public roads program. You will normally see the APRP for approval by the government Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Finance. The roads funded in each constituency are detailed in the approved APRP for KERA for the previous 4 financial years, which I've attached, and Speaker, allow me to table the annual roads works program as requested. This is the annual roads program, both from the year 2021-22, 2019-2020, 2020-2021, 21-22, and 22-23, with all the annual work programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, other honorable members, before we go to the next, Honorable Elisha. Order. Honorable members, allow me to acknowledge in the Speaker's gallery two very distinguished ladies from the East African region, the Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, the Honorable Anita Among, otherwise known as Triple A, and the Honorable Speaker of the Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Julia Acton, who is also the president of the IPU. The two speakers and speakers from other East African community states, Rwanda, Burundi, Republic of South Sudan, Somalia, and DRC are in Kenya attending a meeting of the Bureau of the Speakers of the East African Community, chaired by yours truly. And we have had a wonderful meeting this morning. Among other things is the expansion and integration of the people of the East African region in truly fostering free movement of people, goods, and services, moving towards monetary union, and broadening the integration of our region. On your behalf and on my behalf, I welcome the two speakers to the gallery of our parliament. Yes, Millie Odhiambo, 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the delegation of the IPU in Kenya, I just wish to congratulate our president. And Kenya played a very significant role in ensuring that she was elected. And also on behalf of the women of this parliament, we are very proud when we see women speakers. And we are looking forward to the next speaker, we don't want to remove you, but the next woman speaker sitting there. So we are very happy to have them and welcome to Kenya. Thank you. Both of them are known to me and I'm very happy to see them both.
They are women, all right, but they are speakers out of their competence, beyond the agenda. KJ?
Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity. And because you have already welcomed the very esteemed speakers, I would want to only put in one word, Mr. Speaker. One is to congratulate the ladies for being able to ascend not only to the apex of their parliaments, but also for great leadership in the continent, identifying that the Honorable Tulia Ackson is our IPU president, and Kenya played a very big role in ensuring that she secured the seat. Myself and the Honorable Millie Odhiambo were her chief campaigners, ensuring that she secures that seat. And through you, Mr. Speaker, we would just like to request that when you're having the deliberations, maybe you might want to whisper to your counterparts that we have a candidate for the African Union Commission. Maybe they might just get the message home that we are looking for that seat, and they might want to support us. Just kurudisha mkono, Mr. Speaker, and I thank you truly for this opportunity. Asante sana.
For your information, in our bureau meeting, we acknowledge that we have a candidate for the African Union Commission, and we agreed that he is indeed a candidate from the East African region and shall enjoy the support of the East African region. Thank you. We'll go back to our questions.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I am satisfied. However, I would allow
If you are satisfied, there is no however. Let's go to the next question. The Honorable Gonzirai.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask question number 178/2023 and says, could the Cabinet Secretary explain why Kenya National Highway Authority, KENHA, issued demolition notices against the Mackinnon Road Trading Center buildings approved by the Kwale County government in 2020 and constructed away from the Mombasa-Nairobi highway into brackets A109 road reserve as clearly depicted on the approved map of the highway. 2, explain why owners of the buildings purportedly earmarked for demolition by Kenya were not involved prior to the issuance of the demolition notices, and clarify whether they shall be compensated before such demolition if the ministry plans to expand the highway. 3, provide copies of updated maps, if any, illustrating the changes done to the road reserve dimensions of the Mombasa-Nairobi highway into brackets A109. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
CS.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Konzirai. On this particular one, Honorable Speaker, Honorable members, the notices were issued because the buildings were within the road reserves as marked through the road reserve boundary posts that were installed in the year 2018. I have got prepared an appendix 2, which, like the Honorable Member Konzirai did request, which will show that we did indeed mark the road reserve area, and we have a document that I will table to basically confirm that. The markings were installed under the project for rehabilitation of Bajuma Gate, Majia Chumvi Road, which was completed on 28 February 2018. The notices, Honorable Member Speaker, of encroachment were issued to 58 entities at the Makinon Trading Center on 2nd February 2023. And there are no current plans to expand the highway. However, the road reserves have been marked using concrete boundary posts since 2018, and the owners have been aware of the boundary. The ministry does not compensate honorable members for demolition of structures that are encroaching on the road reserve. Since issuance of the notices, some entities have removed their structures while others continue to encroach. And in my appendix 2 also, I've shown one entity that, after engaging an advocate to contest the notice in writing, later to Kenya for that matter, later demolished the encroaching building and put up a new building that observes the road reserve boundaries. That is also in a document that let me wish to table to show those details as requested by Honorable Konzirai. On the third item, a planned and profile drawing for the project for rehabilitation of Bajuma Gate Majia Chumvi Road, indicating that at the time of design, a section of the building were identified to be within the road reserve, has been provided for ease of reference. I thank you. Allow me to table the annexure or appendix to basically assist us to appreciate.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Konzirai.
Mr. Speaker, what the minister is actually telling us could have some truth, but the question I'm asking is about Macnan Road, because the allegations about the houses which people actually removed the structures was in Taru. This road we are talking about is 57 kilometers. And I'm talking about Taru, Macnan Road Trading Center, where sometimes last year, I took the former Minister for Roads and Transport to that particular area. And he considered that there were no any consultation done actually with the owners. Because what the dispute is about the boundary. Because Kwale County in 2020 actually gave consent for the structures to be put. They are saying they did put their signs on 2018. And on 2020, Kwale County issued consent for the approval of the construction. So we are actually having a dispute in this matter. That's why we went to court, And one of the issues that they were supposed to give us was the historical information about that particular area, which has not been done up to now. So unless the minister confirms that he will be
Ask him a question.
when can the minister actually confirm, or can he give an undertaking of coming to Macnan Road to confirm actually what is on the ground versus actually what is being said on paper in this particular house?
Tungule, take one more. Chirchir, then you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I'm asking a question on behalf of the people of Ganze, and it is with regard to the tarmacking of the road from Bamba to Ganze to Kilifi. This is a road that was launched in 2021, and it was a contract for 3 years. And the contract elapsed in November this year. But the problem is the contractor only did 5.6 kilometers of the 56 kilometers that he was required to do. And the project has stalled for the last almost 1.5 years for now. So my question to the CS is, when is the contractor going back to the ground to restart the construction, having in mind that now the contract period for 3 years is now elapsed and there's no activity that is happening on the ground as of now? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Tuitum, this is a very narrow question about Mackinnon Road. Do you want to just hold on, Minister? Tuitum?
Mr. Speaker, sir, this is not about Mackinnon Road, but I wanted to put a question concerning Kaelo Kamukunji Motuate Road. On 22nd April 2023, the President visited the area. There is a road that is installed since 2017. The President commissioned and gave an undertaking that the road should be completed in December 2023. Up to now, there is no contractor on site. And these are the things that are making this government to be unpopular. Mr. Minister, what are you doing to make sure that that road is completed? It's almost 2 years now after the President commissioned and gave an indication that through the ministry, that road should be completed. Why don't we have a contract on the road? And when is that road going to be completed?
Minister.
Thank you, Speaker. With respect to Mackinnon, let me confirm, Mheshimiwa, I can come to the ground. I'll be in Mombasa next week. If you'll be on the ground, we can visit Mackinnon and confirm. We'll work more closely with the county government to make sure that we do not issue conflicting information. So Mackinnon, I'll outside the chamber, liaise with you on when we can meet on the ground within the market. With respect to the road, the 2 roads in Kanze and was that Ahero? Correct. Honorable members, we've had a challenge for ongoing projects and starting new projects. And without being general, honorable members, allow me to reiterate what I did say during my confirmation hearing before this House, that the pending bills that sits today at about 175 billion is a priority we are working on to ensure that we do settle to this House for supporting us to raise the 7 shillings under the road RMLF, which we are quite advanced in the process of securitization, and that will allow us to get all contractors back to work. I do know that in the many questions that will follow, the concern on contractors vacating works and abandoning sites is something of concern, and therefore, even as we work on the pending bills and getting back the contractors back to work in a very short while, I want to confirm that we also have to be very vigilant on how we bring in new projects. because it's one thing to start a project and 10 years down the line, we are unable to pay for bills. Honorable members, we will work together more closely in really ensuring that the budgets, appropriation, and the printed estimates that you do give us do address some of those directives that are given by leadership, so that together we can ensure that we develop this country, and more importantly, equitably. So let me confirm, honorable members, particularly with respect to those roads, that we can look at, let me look at the current, because there were supplementary questions, let me look at the printed estimate and see the provisioning on the printed estimate, how they have been covered. But even if they have not been covered, I would like to sit down with the two honorable members and look at those two particular roads, in light of the fact that there were directives from leadership. We should be able to see and find a way on how to accommodate. Thank you.
Question 013 of 2024, Ojambo Undo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me, I beg to ask the following question to the Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transport. Could the Cabinet Secretary, number one, provide the status of the Matayos Ganjela Nahasiko Nangina Road that was tendered under 10,000 kilometers low-volume sealed roads and was reported to be under procurement, adjudication, professional opinion as at the commencement of the financial year 2017-2018. Number two, provide an update on the proposed Lake Victoria Ring Road project, and particularly the implementation of the Gazette Notice number 2056 of 25th February 2022. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Waziri.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, honorable members. Again, the question from Honorable Dr. Oundo with respect to this road in Funyula, Matayos. Let me state as follows, honorable members, that the Matayos, Kanjala, Nakashiko, Nangina Road